Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, June 24th, 2022. Happy Friday, everyone. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right now, you'll notice the ES is mostly trading near the upper end of its range right now. It's actually just shy of the previous week's high price. The previous week's high is sitting up there near 38.80. That's right at this high right there. So it's still a bit inside the 2-week range right now. But it is sitting above 2-day highs and is stretching here for the most recent pivot highs at 38.43. Overall, this market, again, hasn't had a whole lot of success in upward price discovery out of ranges. The only time here where we've seen something like that were these final 2 days ahead of the Memorial Day weekend. Melt up rallies here out of range, but really a lot of the rallies that have happened within range, and then we've seen them get crushed. They've rallied within range here, and then you get crushed. So a lot of within range rallies, but not a whole lot of expansion rallies to the upside. So it's going to take a lot to get these things going to the upside. Otherwise, we could be looking at a fade right back inside the ranges here as we stay inside these narrow developing ranges heading into the weekend. We do have economic data coming up here in a little while. 9 a.m. Central, we have Michigan consumer sentiment and expectations and new home sales as well. That could provide a little bit of a catalyst there ahead. But again, this market right now right at the edge of resistance, and the tendency here lately is when you're at the edge of resistance at the top end of a trading range here, there tends to be a fade right back down that can happen. So again, that's what's happened each of these times during this decline, and we're kind of there again. So again, not expecting a full-on breakout, although anything can happen. It's really got to prove it if it's going to break to the upside. Otherwise, we could be looking at some sort of failure and perhaps a pullback within the range until proven otherwise. Taking a look here at the NQ, again, very similar price action here for the NQ. Rallying. This one is sitting within a very narrow range right above the previous week's high price. The previous week's high of 11,800. We got a very narrow range that is developed in the 60-minute time frame. And a failure to hold above the 11.8 opens up again a rotation back down. You have weekly VWAP back toward 11,595, so we could be looking at perhaps a 200-point pullback into weekly VWAP below if prices cannot see further expansion from here. Here's a look at crude oil. Crude oil with a bit of a bounce back day here, up 2.25%. This was exactly the same amount it rallied yesterday before it fizzled into the close. Again, this market right now is in a downward push after failing the 115s here, opening up the lower portion of this range as deep as the 95. So that's the range right there, and we've made a big time move through most of that range. Again, the expectation is for further weakness down toward about 95 to 98 at the very least, perhaps even getting that 99, 93 CVWAP. Once that occurs, perhaps we see a range move back up within this wider range as it stays within the range a bit. But giving up the 115 suggests further downward price discovery. Any pullback could be seen as a selling opportunity until we reach the edge of the range. So further downside price action could be seen ahead, and any early strength could be seen as a selling opportunity in crude oil. All right, taking a look now at Bitcoin. Bitcoin here up 1 1/3% at the moment. Again, this would be back-to-back days up at the moment here, and it's just not likely to hang on to those gains. We've had very narrow price action that has developed at these lows, very reminiscent of what we've seen here recently, where we drop hard, go sideways, drop hard, go sideways. We have not seen any lasting strength out of this market. We haven't seen any price discovery phase moves to the upside or price expansion type moves where it expands the range to the upside. We haven't seen those. Any rallies have been within range, and then most of the time we're seeing these things get shut back down. So again, any rally here could be seen as an opportunity for bears to sell. 22K could be an opening back down through the $20,000 level and then lower. So again, we have that LVN down below that we could continue to go chase, and that LVN takes us all the way through the 12.5 level. So again, we could be looking at weakness all the way back toward 12.5. Looking at ETH futures, this one's up right now 7.75%, back-to-back up days here. Again, that could look very bullish, but we are still within range. So it's another rally within range. No real price expansion or price discovery out of this range, and we're now testing prices inside the bearish Pima trigger zone. That bearish Pima trigger zone has been on fire for bears here to the downside over the last 2 to 3 months, and getting into that zone again could provide another opportunity for weakness to present itself. So until this market is able to really reestablish back above 1400, the previous low of the futures here, or perhaps especially back above 1700, we could be looking at sideways to downward price action here up ahead. This one still has 902 half down below and 717 as the previous year's low in the cash. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the weekend. Happy Friday, everyone. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.